In this video, we're going to learn how to calculate the length of the arc of a curve if you have a particular function. So, for instance, if we've got a section of a function here, and we wanted to know how long the curve was between two particular x values, how would we do that? Well, we're going to approach this in quite an abstract way, but this is going to lead to a beautiful formula for this. So here's how I'd like you to think about this. Let's say that we wanted to know how much our arc length changed between this point and some point close by. We're basically going to use the idea of limits here. So imagine that this point was very, very, very close, maybe even, dare I say, infinitely close. So we've got our curve, our arc length so far, like this, and we could call that arc length so far L. So what we're looking for then is what is the change in L if we increase this. So let's call this dl. Well, notice that if we were to zoom in and zoom in and zoom in, or rather make this point infinitely close here, then the tiny little section of the curve there starts to look very, very, very much like a straight line. It's the same principle when we're thinking about derivatives. If you bring one point closer and closer and closer to the other, the curvature just disappears. So let's use the fact that this is going to approach a straight line as it becomes an infinitely short length and work out what its length is. Well, we can do that using Pythagoras because we have a right angled triangle here if this is a straight line. This is going to be dx, the change in x, and this is going to be dy, the change in y. So what I can say is that the change in the arc length, dl, is going to be equal to the square root of the change in x squared plus the change in y squared. So, a little bit of algebra now. If I just divide through by dx, the change in L divided by the change in x. Well, dividing this through by x, what do I get? Well, I'm going to effectively divide inside the square root here by dx squared. And what's that giving me? That's giving me dx squared divided by dx squared is 1, and dy squared divided by dx squared is dy by dx squared. So what we have is that the change in L divided by the change in x is the square root of 1 plus dy by dx. Now, obviously, I'm not doing a formal proof here, but you can see that is the derivative of the arc length with respect to x is this, and therefore integrating both sides with respect to x gets me that the arc length is the integral of the square root of 1 plus dy by dx all squared with respect to x. And that is our arc length formula. So, like I said, this is not a kind of university level proof, but I hope it justifies it and lets you see why it's true. Let's apply this now in the following case. So there's our arc length formula. Here's our curve. Turns out it's y equals 2x to the 3 over 2. So find the length of the curve between x equals 0 and x equals 2. Okay, so what do we actually need here? We need dy by dx. So dy by dx here, well, power comes down and drops by 1, so that's 3x to the half. Square that. In fact, we could just go for the whole thing now. So it's the integral between x equals 0 and x equals 2 of the square root of 1 plus, now it's this whole thing squared, which is going to get us 9x dx. Now integrate this however you like. You can use a substitution or reverse chain rule. I'm just going to use reverse chain rule. This is a thing to the power of a half. So when I integrate this, this is just going to be that same thing with a power of 3 over 2. But I imagine differentiating this. If I differentiated this, I would get 3 over 2 times 9, so 27 over 2, so I'll just compensate with a 2 over 27 here, and there is my integral. And I want to evaluate this now between 0 and 2. So subbing in 2, what do we get? 2 over 27 multiplied by 1 plus 18, so that's 19 to the power of 3 over 2, minus, and then I'm subbing in 0, so I just get 1 to the power of 3 over 2 is 1, so that's just 2 over 27. And that's the answer. I'm not sure we can do anything particularly lovely with that. I mean, we could express it as some horrendous surd form, or indeed just as a decimal. So let's go ahead and do that, 6.061, if it had asked for it for 3 decimal places. But that's the principle. You can find arc lengths of pretty much any curve, although square root of 1 plus dy by dx squared is very often a pretty gnarly thing to integrate. But this is the principle. Okay, let's have a go at another. The figure below shows part of the curve y equals ln cos x. Find the length of the arc between x equals 0 and x equals pi over 4. So it's actually just this little section here. Okay, well, we need our formula. Okay, well, we need our formula, which is it's going to be the integral of the square root of 1 plus dy by dx squared. With respect to x, it's going to be between 0 and pi by 4. So we need dy by dx. So differentiating ln cos x, maybe you just know this one. If not, it's the derivative of cos x minus sine x divided by cos x, so that's just tan x, or minus tan x rather. Okay, let's go for it. It's the integral of the square root of 1 plus minus tan x all squared. So that's 1 plus tan squared x. Okay, that looks like good news. Why is that good news? Because 1 plus tan squared x is sec squared x. And the square root of sec squared x is sec x. So this is the integral of sec x. Now, do you know the integral of sec x? If you don't, it's a good time to learn it. It's ln sec x plus tan x. That's just a good one to know. Just a little explanation for why that's true if you don't know. Suppose we had y equals ln sec x plus tan x. If you differentiated that, it would be, well, it's ln, so it's the stuff down here, and its derivative above. The derivative of sec x is sec x tan x, and the derivative of tan x is sec squared x. But look, if you factorize out a sec x from the top, you're left with tan x plus sec x, which beautifully cancels with the sec x plus tan x down here, giving us sec x there. So yes, ln sec x plus tan x is the integral of sec x. That's it is a good one to know. Okay, let's sub in pi over 4 and 0. So subbing in pi over 4. Well, cos of pi over 4 is root 2 over 2. So sec x is the reciprocal of that, which is 2 over root 2, which is root 2. Tan of pi over 4 is 1. Now we sub in 0. Sec of 0 is 1, tan of 0 is 0, ln of 1 is 0. So our exact answer here is the answer is ln of root 2 plus 1. That is the length of the arc between 0 and pi by 4. Pretty nice, right? Okay, let's do one more. So this question says, find the length of the arc between x equals 1 and x equals 2 on this curve. Okay, same as before, we need dy by dx. So that gives us x minus, okay, the derivative of ln x is 1 over x, and it's a quarter of that, so it's 1 over 4x. So I need 1 plus dy by dx squared. Let's just work that out separately first. 1 plus dy by dx squared is 1 plus, now this lot squared is x squared minus, okay, that comes out as minus a quarter times 2 is minus a half. And then that's plus 1 over 16 x squared. Neatened up, that gets me x squared plus a half plus 1 over 16x squared. Now we need to square root that, but notice that when I squared x minus 1 over 4x, I got x squared minus a half plus 1 over 16x squared. Now I've got x squared plus a half plus 1 over 16 squared, suggesting that this factorizes as x plus 1 over 4x squared, and indeed it does. It's quite neat that when you have something like minus a half and then plus 1, which just makes it plus a half, and you can effectively factorize it the same way as you expanded it. So the integral of the square root of 1 plus dy by dx squared is just the integral of the square root of this, which is just the integral of x plus 1 over 4x, which I'm going to write as a quarter over x. It's just easier to integrate between 0 and, no, between 1 and 2. So we can integrate this. That's half x squared plus a quarter ln x. So that's kind of nice, actually, that the arc length of this curve ends up being exactly the same as the actual curve, but a plus here. Evaluated between 1 and 2 gives me, subbing in 2, I get half of 2 squared, which is 2, plus a quarter ln 2, then minus a half of 1 squared, which is a half, and then ln of 1 is 0, so that's just 0 there. So in total, I'm getting 3 over 2 plus a quarter ln 2 as the length of the arc of this curve between 1 and 2. Okay, so that is arc lengths. Hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you in the next video.